All through the week I've been coming to London in this train, or similar trains to this. This is a better one. I like these London Midland ones. They're a bit more modern looking, and they've always been crowded with people standing up. But here, as you can see, plenty, because it's Saturday. It's the Saturday of the conference, and I don't have to go in until the middle of the day. I've got plenty of time to get down to the Hilton of Park Lane. So I thought I'd just show you a little bit of what the view from the train looks like just for a few moments. Why not do that? I don't think there's anything confidential or security what's it about doing that. I don't think I've done it before, so I might as well do it. And it's a record, isn't it, of how the train journey goes in. I mean, obviously I'm looking out of the left side for consistency's sake. There's also a right-hand side with all forest there. Perhaps the right side's a bit more green and lush, because at this point anyway, because that would be the Boxmoor side going up towards golly, Sarratt, Chippendale. Is it called Chippendale? Chipperfield, not Chippendale. It's something else. That's furniture and striptease artists. Male ones, unfortunately. I don't have any utility from that, mind you. I don't use the alternative either these days.
Please take care when stepping from the train onto the platform.
There's the ski slope, Hamilton Dry ski slope. You might see just in between the trees there, just a bit higher than average. It's not the first time you see me film from a train, but this is actually the old home territory, and sometimes I just forget to do it because it's all so familiar. But it's actually worth filming everything once, because time goes by so quickly, despite what the song says. Apsley. You've seen me walking around Apsley several times. You've been watching my stuff. But basically, this is the Apsley. I was asked to at one stage I was actually asked to film the King's Langley train stations, and I'm actually going to be able to fulfil finally that request, which I agreed to do. Forgot about in the meantime a bit, but I'll be able to film it from the inside. In a minute we'll see it from the inside.
Welcome aboard this London Midland service to...
I'm not sure whether I'm going to do the whole thing. Quite a lot of people, more people got in at Apsley than got in at Hemel Hempstead. That's rather strange. Already starting to fill up a little bit. If it gets fuller, I'll abandon filming because it becomes a bit awkward when there's a lot of people around. Actually quite nice toilets in these trains with sort of sliding circular doors. You might be able to see that down there.
Okay, well, how about a free
behind that guy.
any time next week except for Tuesday?
Because one of the benefits of filming is that you can keep a record of the way things used to be. Time goes by quickly. Things appear that weren't there before, and you might want to have things that were there before go, and you might just want to have a record of them to strengthen those memories, just to persuade yourself that you weren't nuts, that thing really was there. You might think memory is irrelevant. If it's not there anymore, then why even remember a piece of building or anything like that? But we do. People just simply do that. People remember, oh, that was the place where the school used to be that I went to when I was a boy for a term, and now it's a housing estate afterwards, and then after that they bulldozed that and turned it into something else. And every land use, when you've got a country like England where there's not enough land to go around, every land use seems to be temporary. And this is supposed to be green belt, but less and less of it is green. The green belt was the idea that went together with the new towns concept after the war, that they had to stop London becoming a sprawl, So they stuck a green belt around it and put new towns outside the green belt. Not all the
When stepping from the train onto
not all of the
platform.
new towns were completely new, of course. Hemel Hempstead's even mentioned in the Doomsday Book. And even, the part where I live, there's very nicely weathered curbs outside. It's Victorian building, and some of the infrastructure as well still Victorian, I have to say. From the way that it looks, you can tell. But then they built around that little town that might have had 5,000 people in it by the end of the war. They added another 80,000 by now, and just in order to make sure that they were all accommodated properly, they closed the hospital.
Sorry?
The West Herts Hospital, incidentally, which was the name of Hemel Hempstead's hospital, was the first place that had a Gideon's mission of leaving Bibles, because the Gideons originally came from Canada. Their first outreach to Britain was actually in Hemel Hempstead at the West Herts Hospital that's been closed. That's just a little snippet of information that will interest Christians. So this is your King's Langley station that I've promised to film. I don't know why or whether that's something that will give a lot of utility to the person that asked for the film of it. It's not fantastic. Maybe that's the side that perhaps would have been of more of interest, maybe. Right
Welcome
over there.
aboard this London Midland service to London Euston. The next stop will be Watford Junction.
Yes, it's Chloe Ambrose.
Don't know if I'll see any
7525.
particular building. If there's nothing on that side, I expect it's all on the window, so I'll just keep looking out that window for the time being. King's Cars, 4, 6, 8, 16 seaters.
At 6 o'clock in the evening.
All nice even numbers. Guess the next number in the pattern, number pattern. A 32-seater car. Accounts and career work welcome. Accounts work welcome, is it? So that's probably what they were asking for then. This appearance of the train station, that side, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, pulling back, there's the M25 going over our heads. You can see it down there. And I'm still filming mainly out of this side. That side's got a lot more to see now as the M25 stretches off. This has just got infrastructure, greenery right up to the train practically on this side. And here the hilly side is that side. We're hearing in the background the UK's second language here. Sounds very nice. Yellow and purple and green. So they're nattering away 19 to the dozen, thinking if anybody speaks English properly, they can't also speak Polish. Boy, are they in for a surprise. So, here I am in the reflection of the window. Presumably you can see me because I can see the reflection of the camera. Therefore you ought to be able to see my reflection talking back to the camera. This is an Iceland tunnel going through the Hampton Bridge area, which we've talked about before. And when you come out of it, it's not far, of course, to Watford Junction. The junction station, what the other train coming off it would go to, or whether it really is a functioning junction station, because I've only ever gone through it down to London, and every time I come through I've only gone through on a straight line, so what makes it a junction is presumably history. But if I'd been back then and taken a photograph or a film of it back then I would know, and I'd be able to show you why it was a junction. Now I can't show you because it's probably not there anymore. Or if it has been, if it is there, it means it's been reopened.
Watford Junction.
Watford Junction.
Please make sure that you have all of your personal belongings with you at all times.
You see, how can I do that? They tell me, please make sure that I have all my personal belongings with me at all times. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? I understand miniaturization, that all my books and can be turned into PDFs and put on a single disc, and all my music collection will be made a lot smaller, but that's fine. I could presumably do that, but I do like to have the paper version or the actual, somewhere. I mean, I've got it maybe in cupboards somewhere, but I don't chuck it out, it's still there. How can I bring it all with me at all times? The most I could have a copy of all of my media with me at all times. That's a reasonable request on the part of the train. But when it comes to something like furniture or my house or what have you, how could I actually put my house on a train or my car on a train? I can put a car on the train in the tunnel, but as for putting all of my personal belongings onto a train, I think it's just inefficient use of resources. I don't need them all with me at all times.
Welcome aboard this London Midland service to London Euston. We will be calling at Bushey, Harrow and Wealdstone, and London Euston. The next stop will be Bushey.
I'll show you as well the other side, of course, here, just in case I never get the chance to film the other side. There's Alex Ferguson's poster. It won't be there when I film that side again anyway. But anyway, back to the default, which is on this side. Some interesting ways they have of making fences and things uncrossable. If you can see, it's almost like a blue rosette. It's all nasty spikes. Goes all the way along the back. Around that bit, and there's another bit going over there. So here we go. On we go from here. Dracula, a film about Dracula. You are not in England now. So here we go. This is Watford, the hometown of Watford Football Club, which I used to support, and still do, technically speaking. You've always got to support, if you're if you're brought up in England, you always have to support something. You can't actually say, like the guy caught in Ireland was asked, "You're a Catholic or a Protestant?" And he said, "Neither. I'm a Jew." He wasn't really a Jew, but he was afraid. He said, he said to himself, "If I say I'm a Protestant, this might be a Catholic terrorist. If I say I'm a Catholic, it's a Protestant terrorist." So he says, to try and keep out of it, "Neither. I'm Jewish already." And the voice behind him says, "I must be the luckiest Arab terrorist in Belfast." Maybe it's not a very funny joke, but tragic really. But in any event, it was a bit like that in Hemel Hempstead. You had to come down either for Watford or Luton, and I came down for Watford because that was mainly my set of chums that I was in. But I can promise you this: Watford Football Club have never received from me the price of a single purchase of merchandise, a single ticket gate, a single a ticket at the gate, or a single season ticket. This is Bushey. I had an argument once about Bushey with some Germans. They said es ist Bushey. It is not Bushey, it is Bushey. You have to pronounce it Bushey. I can imagine that the person that they had that came from here, I think his name was Graham, when asked where he came from, said Bushey, like that. And so they said, "Yeah, this is Bushey. You are not pronouncing it properly. He came from there. He knows how it is pronounced. It is Bushey." So
Welcome aboard this London Midland service to London Euston. We will be calling at Harrow and Wealdstone.
but you had to be a Watford supporter. But I promise you, I've never spent anything on merchandise, tickets, season tickets, pay-per-view to watch one of their games. In fact, I have never actually watched a Watford game. I've never even seen a Watford goal being scored. Other than Graham Taylor, I couldn't mention any of the managers. Other than Elton John, I couldn't mention any of the various owners that might have had. Other than Luther Blissett, I couldn't mention any of the players that it's ever had in its whole history. So I am the single most useless supporter that a football club has ever been able to claim as their own. I never had a scarf of Watford. I've never had anything. It's just you had to say one thing or another. You had to say Luton or Watford, and I preferred to say Watford than Luton.